download our Revise It Right revision app for hundreds of videos, quizzes, exam questions, tutor support and so much more. This video is about energy stores and systems. Now, when anything happens, energy is transferred from one store to another. Okay, so for example, if we think about a car that is not moving, that has some fuel which has chemical energy. When that car then goes to move, we're transferring that energy from the chemical store, from the fuel, to kinetic energy to get it to move. Okay, so whenever anything happens, some form of energy is transferred to another store of energy. And we'll talk about each of the stores in a second. A system is a word that might be thrown around in physics quite a lot. It's just an object or a group of objects. And when a system changes, the energy stored in that system changes as well, as it is transferred from one store to another. So just like our example here with the non-moving car, has the chemical energy in terms of its fuel, and that goes to move, it transfers that chemical energy into kinetic energy to move. So we're going to look at the different energy stores now and what they each mean. So you can have chemical energy, which is energy that is stored within fuels, foods or batteries. Okay, so when we're talking about chemical energy, we're talking about the stored energy that's in fuels, food or batteries. Kinetic energy is the energy an object has if it's moving. So all moving objects have kinetic energy. Gravitational potential energy is the energy that objects have above the ground. So if an object is above the ground, it has gravitational potential energy. We call it a potential energy because it has the potential to transfer into another form. Elastic potential energy is that objects have if they are stretched or squashed. Okay, so when we're talking about elastic potential energy, it's the energy that an object has if it is stretched or squashed. Thermal energy is energy something has due to its temperature. The higher the temperature, the increase in temperature, the more thermal energy it has. Magnetic energy is energy in magnets. Electrostatic energy is energy due to electric charges either repelling or attracting. So when you have electric charges repelling or attracting, that is electrostatic energy. And finally, nuclear energy is when nuclei inside atoms joins or separates. Okay, so when nuclei inside of atoms either joins or separates, that is nuclear energy. Remember to download our Revise It Right revision app, watch over 700 videos, answer 4,000 plus quiz questions, over 1,000 flashcards, 1,000 exam questions, worksheets, forums, and get help from qualified teachers and so much more. The link is in the description. Now, energy transfers can be represented by energy diagrams, where you show the energy initial to where that or what that gets transferred into. So for example, if we take our car like we did earlier as an example, it's got fuel and that is chemical energy, and when we go to move that car, it transfers into kinetic energy, which will obviously move the car. When you have an individual that is just about to jump, so a person who will jump from a cliff, when they're above the cliff, they have gravitational potential energy because they're above the ground. The gravitational potential. And when they jump, that will get transferred to kinetic energy because they will be moving. Okay, so energy diagrams just there to show those transfers in energy. I would now like you to have a go at answering these questions here, and then we'll go through the answers together. So pause the video now. Okay, so question 1, what are the units of energy? The units of energy are joules. Name 4 different energy stores. Well, there's 8 that we can talk about. So you could have written thermal, kinetic, gravitational potential, elastic potential, chemical, magnetic, electrostatic and nuclear. So any 4 of those 8. What store of energy does a chocolate bar have? Well, it's food, therefore it's chemical energy. What store of energy does a moving bike have? It has kinetic energy because it's moving. What 2 stores of energy does a moving aeroplane have that's high in the sky? So it has kinetic energy because it's moving, and it also has gravitational potential energy because it's in the sky. What store of energy does a helicopter hovering have but it's not moving? Well, it has gravitational potential energy. What store of energy does a stretched elastic band have? It has elastic potential. And finally, what store of energy does petrol have? It has chemical. So this video was about energy and the energy stores and how that energy is then transferred between stores to make something happen. You can now answer the questions in the quiz and any exam questions on the topic, and if there's anything you didn't understand or any questions you want answering, then please get into contact with one of our tutors who will happily help.